Half of adults over 60 struggle to sleep through the night, risking memory loss, weaker immunity, and dangerous falls. Sleep is no longer a given for many. Pill bottles promise relief, but they bring new dangers: addiction, morning grogginess, and even higher dementia risk. What if changing just 3 foods at dinner could restore your body's natural 8-hour sleep cycle, starting in a matter of nights? The secret lies in a hidden biological gap and the simple timing mistake almost everyone overlooks after 60. Timing turns out to be everything. Let's uncover what is really keeping seniors awake and how nature might offer a solution. Every night, millions of older adults find themselves staring at the ceiling, wide awake, while the world outside sleeps. The numbers are staggering. About half of people over 60 report ongoing trouble either falling or staying asleep. This is not just a nuisance. Chronic insomnia in seniors carries a heavy price. Memory starts to slip, not simply from aging, but from the brain missing out on the deep, restorative sleep it needs to clear away waste and cement new memories. The immune system weakens, making it harder to fight off infections, something that becomes more dangerous with each passing year. And then there is the risk of falls. Tired muscles and a foggy mind make missteps more likely, and for older adults, a fall can mean weeks in the hospital or worse. Desperate for relief, many turn to sleeping pills. At first, the promise of a full night's rest seems within reach, but these medications come with their own set of problems. Dependence can develop quickly, leaving people unable to sleep without a pill. Morning grogginess lingers, making the risk of falls even higher. Studies have also linked long-term use of common sleep aids like benzodiazepines and Z-drugs to a greater chance of developing dementia. For many, the supposed solution becomes another source of worry. The scale of the problem is hard to overstate. Sleep troubles in later life are more than an inconvenience. They ripple out, touching every aspect of health and daily living. Yet despite the risks, pharmaceutical sleep aids remain a common recourse, even as their long-term safety for older adults is questioned. The need for a safer, more natural way to reclaim restful sleep has never been clearer. The search for answers begins not in the medicine cabinet, but in the body's own biology, where age quietly rewrites the rules of sleep. Melatonin, the hormone that signals the body it's time to sleep, doesn't keep up as the years go by. By age 60, the average person is producing about half as much melatonin at night as they did in their 30s. This is not a sudden drop, but a gradual decline that leaves many older adults with weaker sleep cues and more restless nights. The pineal gland that makes melatonin becomes less responsive to light and darkness with age, and the brain's internal clock, the circadian rhythm, loses some of its precision. As a result, the nightly surge of melatonin that once made falling asleep easy now arrives late, weak, or sometimes not at all. But it is not just about how much melatonin the body can make. When and how sleep-supporting nutrients are consumed matters just as much. Sleep researchers have found that certain nutrients like tryptophan, magnesium, and natural melatonin from foods are most effective when timed to match the body's own rhythms. The sweet spot is a 2 to 3 hour window before bedtime. This is when the body starts winding down and the brain's chemistry is primed for sleep. Tryptophan needs time to cross into the brain and be converted to serotonin, then melatonin. Magnesium reaches peak levels in the blood about 2 hours after eating, ready to calm the nervous system and relax muscles. Even melatonin from food can nudge the body's natural production, but only if it is present as night falls. That timing is critical. Dr. Karen Lee, a board-certified sleep specialist, explains that after 60, melatonin production drops sharply. She says the right nutrients, taken at the right time, can help support your body's natural sleep signals. Timing is just as important as the foods themselves. Understanding this timing window is the key to making food work for sleep. It's not just what is on the plate, but when it is eaten. This principle opens the door to natural, food-based strategies that work in harmony with the body's own clock, offering hope for restful nights without the risks of medication. Martha, a retired teacher in her 70s, used to dread bedtime. She would lie awake for nearly an hour, her legs tense and restless, waiting for sleep that never seemed to come. Her story echoes the struggles of so many older adults, but it also highlights a simple, practical step that changed her nights, adding a banana to her evening routine. Bananas are more than just a quick snack. Each medium banana contains 11 milligrams of tryptophan, an amino acid essential for making serotonin, the brain's natural calming signal. As daylight fades, serotonin becomes the raw material for melatonin, the hormone that tells the body it is time to sleep. But tryptophan cannot do its job alone. Bananas also deliver vitamin B6, which acts like a key, unlocking the pathway that turns tryptophan into serotonin and eventually into melatonin. Another quiet hero in a banana is magnesium, about 32 milligrams per fruit. Magnesium helps relax muscles and nerves, setting the stage for sleep. For Martha, this meant fewer nighttime leg cramps and less tossing and turning. Potassium, at 422 milligrams per banana, works alongside magnesium to calm muscle activity and prevent those sudden spasms that can jolt a person awake. The benefits go beyond nutrients alone. Bananas provide natural sugars that cause a gentle insulin response. This small rise in insulin helps tryptophan cross the blood-brain barrier, where it can be turned into serotonin and melatonin right when the body needs it most. It is a subtle nudge, helping the brain shift gears from alertness to rest. Research backs up what Martha felt. In a study published in the Journal of Sleep Research, older adults who ate tryptophan-rich foods at night fell asleep about 30% faster. That is the difference between lying awake for an hour and drifting off in 40 minutes. A meaningful change for anyone who dreads the long wait for sleep. Magnesium has also been shown to improve sleep quality in seniors, especially for those whose levels are low due to age-related changes in absorption. Timing matters. Martha found the best results when she ate her banana about an hour and a half before bed. This gave her body time to absorb the nutrients and set the sleep chemistry in motion. Within a week, her sleep latency dropped from nearly an hour to just over 20 minutes. The painful leg cramps faded and mornings felt less foggy. For anyone struggling to fall asleep after 60, a simple banana in the evening is more than a comfort food. It is a targeted, research-backed way to support the body's natural sleep process. The right nutrients, at the right time, can help the brain remember how to rest. Robert spent years waking up around 3 a.m., alert and restless, his mind racing while his body refused to settle. Managing type 2 diabetes only complicated his nights because blood sugar swings often left him drained by morning. He had tried prescription sleep aids, but the side effects pushed him to search for something gentler. An ounce of almonds, about 23 nuts, contains 76 milligrams of magnesium, nearly a fifth of the daily requirement for most adults. That is more than any other common nut. Alongside magnesium, almonds offer 6 grams of protein, which slows digestion and helps keep blood sugar steady through the night. Unlike high-carbohydrate snacks that can cause a spike and crash, almonds digest slowly, releasing energy over several hours. For Robert, this meant fewer early morning blood sugar dips, a common trigger for sudden awakenings in people with diabetes. Magnesium is essential for the brain's sleep machinery. It helps regulate the circadian rhythm, the internal clock that signals when to sleep and wake. Magnesium activates the parasympathetic nervous system, shifting the body from daytime alertness to nighttime relaxation. In the brain, it supports GABA signaling, which quiets neural activity and prepares the mind for deep, uninterrupted sleep. Almonds are also one of the few foods that naturally contain melatonin, the hormone that cues the body to wind down. While the amount is modest compared to supplements, it is enough to support the body's own melatonin production, especially when combined with magnesium's calming effect. This is particularly helpful for older adults whose melatonin levels naturally decline with age. A clinical study found that older adults who increased their magnesium intake fell asleep an average of 17 minutes faster and experienced fewer nighttime awakenings. For Robert, the routine was simple: a handful of almonds, about 1 to 1.5 ounces, 30 to 60 minutes before bed. Within a week, his 3 a.m. wake-ups became less frequent. By the end of the month, he was sleeping through most nights and his morning blood sugar readings were more consistent. The combination of magnesium, protein, and natural melatonin helped stabilize both his sleep and overnight glucose, breaking the cycle that had disrupted his rest for years. Eaten half an hour to an hour before bed, almonds support the body's transition into sustained, restorative sleep. For Robert, this small change restored the quiet, unbroken nights he had missed for so long. Lena's evenings used to be a battleground. The lights would go out, but her thoughts would surge, lists, worries, memories, all tumbling through her mind. Sleep felt like a distant promise. For years, she tried over-the-counter remedies and even considered prescription sleep aids, but concern about side effects kept her searching for gentler options. One night, at her daughter's suggestion, Lena brewed a cup of chamomile tea 30 minutes before bed. The ritual itself, a few quiet minutes, the warmth of the mug in her hands, became a calm pause in her routine. Chamomile's secret lies in a compound called apigenin. This flavonoid binds to the same brain receptors targeted by anti-anxiety medications, specifically the benzodiazepine receptors, but it does so with a softer touch. Instead of sedation or grogginess, apigenin gently amplifies the brain's natural calming signal, GABA. The result is a quieting of mental noise, making it easier for the mind to let go of anxious loops and drift toward sleep. Unlike pharmaceutical options, chamomile carries no risk of dependency or morning confusion. Its effect is subtle, a gradual easing of the body and mind into rest. Clinical research supports what many have felt for generations. In a study published in BMC Complementary Medicine, older adults who drank chamomile tea nightly experienced 34% fewer nighttime awakenings over 4 weeks. Participants also reported waking up feeling more rested, a sign that their sleep was not just longer, but deeper and less fragmented. Chamomile's anti-inflammatory properties may also play a role, soothing aches and discomfort that can disturb sleep in later life. The warmth of the tea itself matters too. Drinking a cup at body temperature raises core body heat slightly. As the body cools afterward, this gentle drop signals the brain that it's time for sleep, a natural cue especially helpful for those whose internal clocks have lost some precision with age. For Lena, the change was gradual but unmistakable. Her racing thoughts became less intrusive, bedtime anxiety faded, and she started falling asleep within 15 minutes most nights. By the end of the month, her early morning wake-ups had nearly vanished. Still, chamomile is not for everyone. Anyone taking blood thinners should check with their doctor before making it a nightly habit, as chamomile can interact with these medications. But for many, a single cup of chamomile tea, steeped and sipped 30 minutes before bed, offers a safe, natural way to invite sleep, completing the trio of foods that work with, not against, the aging body. A restful night starts long before your head meets the pillow. The most effective approach combines what you eat with how you prepare your environment. 3 hours before your planned bedtime, have your main dinner. Choose a balanced meal with lean protein and complex carbohydrates, for example, grilled chicken with brown rice and vegetables. This keeps blood sugar steady and sets the stage for the evening routine. Avoid caffeine after 2 in the afternoon, because even small amounts can linger in the system and disrupt sleep. Skip alcohol at dinner. While it may feel relaxing at first, alcohol often leads to early morning wakefulness and lighter, less restorative sleep. Large or spicy meals can trigger heartburn when you lie down, so keep portions moderate and flavors gentle. About 1 to 2 hours before bed, eat a medium banana. The natural sugars in the banana help tryptophan reach your brain, while magnesium and potassium begin relaxing your muscles. 30 to 60 minutes later, reach for a small handful of almonds, roughly 1 to 1.5 ounces. The magnesium and protein in almonds help your body maintain stable blood sugar through the night, and they support your internal body clock. As bedtime approaches, dim the lights in your home. Darkness is essential for melatonin production, so turn off bright overhead lights and use lamps or night lights if needed. 30 minutes before bed, steep a cup of chamomile tea. Sip it slowly as you wind down, letting the warmth and gentle aroma signal your brain that the day is ending. Shut off all screens, including phones, tablets, and TVs, at least 1 hour before sleep. Blue light from screens can suppress melatonin, making it harder to fall asleep. Set your bedroom temperature to between 65 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit for optimal comfort. Complete darkness in the room, using blackout curtains or a sleep mask, allows your body's natural sleep signals to work at their best. Follow this evening checklist, step by step, to align your body's rhythms, making it easier to fall asleep and stay asleep through the night. By the end of 4 weeks, the changes for many participants are clear. Martha, who once struggled to fall asleep, now finds herself drifting off in about 20 minutes most nights. Her sleep diary shows fewer nighttime awakenings and a steady 7 hours of rest. Robert, after years of waking up at 3 a.m., reports sleeping through the night more often, with his morning blood sugar readings holding steady. Lena, whose mind used to race at bedtime, describes her evenings as peaceful and her mornings as truly refreshed. These stories echo what clinical studies have found. Most people notice easier sleep in the first few nights, fewer awakenings by the end of week 1, and deeper, more restorative sleep as the protocol becomes routine. By week 4, a consistent 7 to 8 hours of sleep is common, along with better mood and energy during the day. But these improvements come with important cautions. Diabetics need to check their blood sugar after adding an evening banana, since fruit can raise glucose levels. Anyone with a nut allergy should swap almonds for pumpkin seeds, which offer similar magnesium benefits. People taking blood thinners must talk to their doctor before trying chamomile tea, as it can affect how these medications work. And anyone already on prescription sleep aids should not stop them suddenly, because changing medications should always be done under medical supervision. Chronic insomnia can sometimes signal an underlying health condition, such as sleep apnea or thyroid problems, that needs professional attention. If sleep does not improve within 4 weeks, or if symptoms like loud snoring or gasping for air appear, a doctor's evaluation is essential. The protocol offers hope, but safety and medical guidance must come first. Tonight, over half of adults past 60 will struggle for sleep, while the answer sits on their dinner plate. As prescription rates for sleep medication keep climbing, nature's solutions remain overlooked and underused. The science is clear. What you eat tonight shapes how you rest tomorrow. Sometimes the simplest choices can restore the rhythms we thought were lost. Let me know your thoughts or experiences in the comments below.